Our March tip is about formatting. Formatting is super important because, as I've said before, no one wants to read any of their messages at work. And because they don't want to read, they want to do their jobs and they need to read in order to do the things they're responsible for. But they're not sitting down to read messages at work like, let's see what this says. They're not excited to read, okay? They are going to read, but they're not going to read every single word. They're going to skim the message. And because they're skimming, we need to design messages based on where people are most likely to look. So, 2 pieces of information you need about how people read. One is that researchers talk about the F pattern. The F pattern is that people read most of the first line of the first paragraph. Okay, so they read most of that. Then they read less of the first line of the next paragraph, and that's the shorter F piece, and then even less of the first line of the beginning of other paragraphs. All right, so they read long part of the F, less of the F, less and less. That's one piece of research. The other piece of research shows that most people are looking at the top of the message, the bottom of the message, and then the middle. They look at the top, what is this about? They look at the bottom, what is my responsibility here? And then they go back and figure out how. They are not reading messages, every word left to right, top to bottom. They're skimming. And when you put these 2 pieces of data together, the F pattern and the top, bottom, middle, I think you get an E, okay? An E where they're reading most of the first line, most of the first line of the last paragraph, and just glancing at the middle based on formatting. So now that you know that, you can design messages that tell people, what is this message about? What do they need to do? And use other formatting techniques to get them to read other stuff in the middle. Your other formatting techniques are white space between your paragraphs so that the first half of the first line of each paragraph is skimmable and tells people most of the information that they need in order to understand the message. Use bold to direct their attention to specific moments that are not the first half of the first line of the paragraph. You can also use bullet points. You can use asterisks, stars, or you can use color. Red works, people feel bad about it. Green and yellow work, and people feel generally good about it. So you can also use color to direct their attention. The goal is to design messages that help people skim so that where they are looking is where the information that they need is. And that means paying attention to the first half of the first line of each paragraph.